Hello, I'm glad to be with you again to talk today about the ascension of Jesus Christ. In the Gospel of Luke, it describes the gathering together of the 11 apostles and the other disciples with them. The two disciples who had encountered Jesus on the road to Emmaus said to one another, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" So they got up at once and returned to Jerusalem. And they came back and they found all the disciples gathered together. There they found the 11 and those with them assembled together and saying, "It is true, the Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two told what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke the bread. While they were still talking about this, Jesus himself stood among them and said to them, "Peace be with you." They were startled and frightened, thinking they saw a ghost. He said to them, "Why are you troubled, and why do doubts rise in your minds? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have." And when he had said this, he showed them his hands and feet. And while they still did not believe it because of joy and amazement, he asked them, "Do you have anything here to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it in their presence. And the wonderful thing about that, the commentary by Blessed Theophylact says, because the disciples still did not believe and had not been convinced even by touching his hands and feet, he offers yet another proof, that of eating. So he ate to confirm the disciples' belief. And he's that way with all of us. He's always helping us in our unbelief. He said to them, "This is what I told you while I was still with you. Everything must be fulfilled that is written about me in the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms." Then he opened their minds so they could understand the scriptures. He told them, "This is what is written. The Christ will suffer and rise from the dead on the third day, and repentance and forgiveness of sins will be preached in his name to all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. You are witnesses of these things. I am going to send you what my Father has promised, but stay in the city until you have been clothed with power from on high." When he said this, he led them out to the vicinity of Bethany. And while he was blessing them, he left them and was taken up into heaven. And in the book of Acts, it talks about how this happened. He was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. They were looking intently up into the sky as he was going, when suddenly 2 men dressed in white stood beside them. "Men of Galilee," they said, "why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus, who has been taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven." And then they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and they stayed continually at the temple, praising God. So Jesus said that they were to wait in Jerusalem. So why were they waiting? What were they waiting for? Well, they're waiting for the day of Pentecost, but that is a story for another day. and a very exciting one. And maybe we'll be able to tell that story together, or maybe we'll do it again online. But in the meantime, have a great day and thank you for listening.